So in the blog post, we're discussing how to take a lot of values and rather manually enter them within the ICC Configuration Manager. We want to import those values from a CSV or within Excel directly into the list function or feature within ICC rather than having to add them manually. So first thing I need to do is create a schema. This is outlined in the info center. We have a value list parent tag. Then we have a value child tag. We have a sort index on it. It's important for the sequence that it occurs in. Our name tag, this is the value we look up, some dummy data. Description, this is mandatory, so you need to put something in there. And then the return value, what you're returning, and then close the value tag. And we've repeated this just for good measure with a sort index of 2. And again, the same idea, name, description, return value tags. So from there, I turn my attention to my list. Here's my list. I have my 1 to 11 values. I've left the top line clear, which is important. I'll see in a moment why. I have my mortgage loans, the length of them, everything from 5 to 15 we're going to have a return value of short term. Everything from 20 to 40 we're going to have a return value of long term. Again, column C is description. It's important to include that and populate it because it's mandatory, but you can put whatever value you want in there. So from there I'm going to go to my developer tab. I'm going to go to my XML and I'm going to click source, and you see my XML source pops up. Where if you don't have this XML option on your ribbon bar, change to File, Options, and go to Customize Ribbon, and make sure here over on the right hand side Developers ticked for it to show on your ribbon bar. So go into the XML source. I want to add a mapping now, and to do that I click on the XML maps. I'm going to add a new one. Here I had the one that I created earlier, document type schema. I'm going to select that, do OK. Gives me a prompt that I don't need to see. It brings it in. So this is the schema file that I created earlier. I'm going to do OK, and it imports it. And you see here we have our sort index, which is important, our name, our description, and return value. And very easily, because I've left the top line free, I can drag the value across, pop it into A1, and it automatically populates my columns, titles, sort index, name, description, and return value as my XML data. So from here I'm going to do a file save as. I'm going to save it as an XML data file. Here's one, book 1 I'm going to call it, or I'm going to call it mortgage list lookup version 1. I'm going to save that. It gives me a prompt, that's okay. I save it. What I want to do now is if I flick over to my ICC, or you can see actually before I do that, you can see that the XML data file that's created is actually all our 11 options are created in there and all take on that column. So there's a value created for each row in the spreadsheet. Value 9, the year, the description, and then what the return value is, so 10 and so on. So it's done all the hard work for us in generating that. Now I'm over onto my ICC. I've created a new list here. I'm going to click the import button, this here. My message box pops up and it's asking me what I want to import. I'm going to do XML. If I already had a list of functions in here and I was adding a new or more up-to-date list, I could use to clear all existing features or clear all existing values, sorry. But I don't need to because it's my first time. I click on my button at the side. I am scrolling down to get my XML file, which I've put in temp. There it is, mortgage list lookup. Now I have it. I open it, and XML value list lookup. I simply hit the OK, and in pops all my data. So I have my 5-year right through to my 40-year, my description, and my short term. So that's a very quick way of saving yourself a lot of manual intervention, how to use sort of Excel with a list of your lookup values and how to populate that via XML into your ICC list.